volunteers or unsportsmanlike behavior be displayed during the game. Smoking is not permitted on school grounds, and for the safety of our players and the enjoyment of all spectators, we ask you to please place any trash in the proper receptacles. At this time, would you all please rise? Gentlemen, remove your hats as we pray. St. Mary's School Chaplain Father G. Howe will lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and eternal Father, we ask you for your blessing upon all these wonderful young men, all their coaches, teachers, friends, and parents who work with them. We ask you to endow and inspire them with many gifts and talents, especially the gift of sportsmanship. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Mary, our good mother, St. Marcel Chicago, let us raise our children. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And now it's time for St. Mary's Lacrosse.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again from Bud Denahan Field, we're upstairs in the physics lab. Mr. Mangiacapri's room. Thank you once again, physics professor. But I'm Anthony Alimo, joined by my co-commentator Brandon Marsh on this beautiful May day. Brandon, introduce yourself to the people once again.
Hello, everyone. This is Brandon Marsh, checking in with Anthony Alimo, getting ready to watch some beautiful lacrosse here on this beautiful day.
This game already high intensity here. I mean, the emotion's running high, mainly because it's a senior celebration. We got a bunch of seniors out there right now. Carl Muchinski, primarily the captain, offensively at least. Beautiful spin here by Holy Trinity. Absolutely saucing the opponent. Holy Trinity pushing it way out now, number 48. Dish over to number 1. Long passes here early for Holy Trinity. Good defense here by Dalen Cook. Oh, you got to give credit to Cook for on that one, altering that shot. Going to get back to their side of the field. Hayes is pushing this one over to Muchinski. McGovern. Back to Muchinski. Muchinski carrying it now. Pushing it. Nice shot on goal, but that one can't go down. Hayes inside. Feeds it. Oh, I thought he was going to feed it. That's a great save there by the Holy Trinity goalie. Brennan, how do you interpret this this intensity this early?
As you can see, this is looking and shaping up to be like a game to remember. The intensity, the feelings is at an all-time high, and we're just here to witness it. Seems like it'll be a very entertaining one.
Holy Trinity getting real close to that St. Mary's goal. Ryan Mockler, of course, on goal for St. Mary's. They've been running with a pretty consistent lineup all season. They're 9-7 thus far. I believe a win on this game will push them into playoff position.
And you know St. Mary's is gunning to win this one. After a lot of injuries to key players, Carl Muchinski, Dalen Cook, and Caleb Braswell, they're looking to bounce back and prove that they are much better than what their record states.
Holy Trinity, a little slow to operate here. But that burst of intensity, that time, does not pay off in their favor. Shot just a bit wide on goal. Balls in the corner just a little bit. Jordan Chen, consistent with the ball. He did a nice little jump move to keep that one in their possession. McGovern. Ooh, McGovern might have lost it. Number 21, 22. Muchinski getting wrapped up in there. McGovern harassed at the sideline. Words exchanged.
You can see the blood boiling for both teams. We see the type of energy that Holy Trinity is coming out with in St. Mary's, matching it to a T. This is looking like a game for the ages, boys.
Well, the emotions I most definitely should partially attribute, at least, to the fact that this is a senior night celebration. St. Mary's feeling a little bit of the pressure. Brandon, we talked with some of those boys before this game started. What did you get from their comments on how this game should turn out?
Well, I talked to specifically Dalen Cook, Carl Muchinski, and Stephen Bernard. They seemed a little nervous, but they know that what their job is. They're going to go out there, do what they need to do, and get work done. Carl Muchinski is returning from an injured elbow. We're going to see how that affects his play.
You know, you mentioned that elbow, and you mentioned some of the pressure a bit earlier. Muchinski, being in this leadership position for so long on this team, he's really stepped up his game as well as his attitude, although it was already fantastic last year, in order to create himself to be sort of like a president for this team in many ways. He's got the people's favor. He's got his teammates' favor. And things are working out quite swell for them. They won their last game out against Cardinal Spellman. Score 18-7. They hope to create a similar result here. Muchinski inside. Ooh, the bounce just a bit high there.
And right there, we see the creativity of Carl Muchinski. Defenses are going to have a tough time trying to keep him from scoring.
Joe Rubinich on that play. First point on the board for either team. The junior coming in clutch. Well, not really clutch, but coming in with a big point there.
And a strong start for Marys. You know they're going to look to build off of that energy and continue to extend this lead. You see the relentlessness of St. Mary's on the offensive end, as well as the defensive end being held down by Dalen Cook and Caleb Braswell.
Stephen Bernard, of course, on the face-off for Mary's. Oh, sticks flying out there. Whistle's blown. Hayes getting in there for Marys. McGovern's out there. Almost cornered in a way. Looking for someone to pass to. Finds Muchinski. Muchinski doing a good job of getting by his defender, as we see right here inside. That one just a bit wide, right into the stick of McGovern. McGovern over to Hayes. Hayes inside. Ooh, a bit hesitant to take that shot there. Hayes attempted to get it back to McGovern, but it's lost to Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity pushing it now. Flags are out there, but Holy Trinity's not stopping. That long stick is out there. They're looking to put something together offensively. Moving through traffic, number 48. Great defense there by Caleb Braswell. Dalen Cook out there looked like he was recovering that ball as the whistle was blown and the flag play, or the flag call, is explained.
And right there you see the disruptive power of the St. Mary's defense. Seemed like what looked like an easy score for Holy Trinity, completely broken up by the defensive tenacity of Caleb Braswell and Dalen Cook. Those two are very cerebral lacrosse players and will cut up your offensive scheme.
Holy Trinity out here now on their side of the field. Not playing in the X quite frequently, that is behind the goal. But their offense has been moving relatively quickly and with ease. Number 1 inside. Ooh, man, talk about a bullet there. Flew past the goal and past the other players.
And St. Mary's is doing a superb job of not allowing any deep position from passes behind the X.
Holy Trinity yet again running with it. Yet again, great defense here by Marys. Braswell, as well as number 4, John Campos, really creating such pressure to stop the play before it even begins, really. Dalen Cook now with the tenacity. Look at the speed of the defense. But it doesn't pay out that time. I believe that was number 15 on Holy Trinity scoring that goal. Tying this one up at 1. We got 6 minutes left in this first quarter, though. Plenty of lacrosse left, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's just a tough shot to block. The speed, the power, the intensity of number 15 for Holy Trinity, getting that goal to go. And you see the intensity scored after every goal for Holy Trinity.
Well, the interesting thing was, that was the only opening I saw in the St. Mary's defense, and Holy Trinity certainly capitalized on that opportunity. We saw, as you explained earlier, St. Mary's is not letting their foot off the brakes in the sense that they're playing excellent defense. However, the one time that there was a lapse, Holy Trinity was able to use that to their advantage. Braswell sort of stumbling up with it there, but he's pushing it now. Oh, my. That check there might have got Holy Trinity the flag, but Muchinski has it now for St. Mary's. Muchinski yet again behind the goal. Brandon, what do you think is going on in Holy Trinity's head right now?
I'm thinking right now it's a game of chess right now. Every blow they're thinking they have to retaliate back. It's just a game to see who's going to give first. Will it be Holy Trinity or St. Mary's? Neither is giving ground right now.
Well, as these teams continue to butt heads offensively as well as defensively, I'm sort of reminded of an old Nikita Khrushchev quote about the two stubborn rams on a bridge knocking each other in the head until they both fall off into the water. They're not going to fall off in any water soon, though, folks. Guaranteed one has to come out on top. St. Mary's, though, playing with the energy that may put them above. Let's see. Muchinski out there. Hayes. The sophomore Hayes putting on an excellent display for his team this season. It's always fantastic when a young, new player can get adjusted to a team with ease. 5 minutes left in this first. Holy Trinity offense a little sloppy on this play here as they consistently resort to the loose ball.
Right there, you see St. Mary's never giving up on the play. Even though Hayes is the one that turned it over, he's the one who gets the steal, gets it back in the hands of St. Mary's.
Rubinich inside. Oh, what a good find. But really, with the way that defense was playing for Holy Trinity, I can't blame him for missing that one. Something I don't think should be underestimated in this game, Brandon. What do you think about the movement, the ball movement, for both teams, but really for Holy Trinity here as we see it's on their side of the field? What do you think about the ball movement?
Well, I think ball movement for both teams has been very crisp. They don't like keeping the ball in one place for a long time. They see their opportunities, they get the ball to the open spot, and they're very efficient in their offense, both teams. The thing is, both defenses have been pretty spectacular in stalwarting the other team.
Number 42 over to number 1 now. Running it, but really looking for something to do. Jordan Chen looked like a great play on that one. Flag was thrown just a bit. We've seen a lot of flags thrown, Brandon. What do you think that says? Is it something about the emotions or something about the brute force?
I think that's just a testament to the high level of lacrosse that's being played here tonight. No one's willing to get ground, and everyone's trying to impose their will on the others. And as a result, a lot of flags have been called.
Maybe next to hockey, lacrosse definitely seems to be the most cathartic sport at St. Mary's. As we continue this therapy session, apparently, Holy Trinity losing it again in the backfield. Nice recovery, though, as they continue to get it in goal range. Muchinski playing the rare defensive role there. Still doing an excellent job. If you notice, Holy Trinity really has to take it back on almost every play. St. Mary's really not leaving them with any breathing room.
And can we shine some light on the load that Carl Muchinski is carrying for St. Mary's? Offensively and defensively, you see him being active in every single play, disrupting their offense and also being the spark plug to St. Mary's.
Lineups changing just a little bit as everybody organized to adjust to the play. Brandon, we talked in that girls' game about adaptability. If the St. Mary's girls were able to adapt and sort of learn their opponent's playbook, they could have excelled. Are you seeing a difference here in the boys, the male Gales, or are you seeing more of the same?
Well, we can see that both teams are very attentive to detail to both the offense and the defense of the other team. They're quick to make adjustments, and I think they'll do what's necessary to get the upper hand.
Holy Trinity goes up with that goal there. The same point delivery by number 15. I'm curious to see, although it was one goal, I'm curious to see if that deflates St. Mary's at all, or if that puts Holy Trinity over the confidence quota of sorts. Bernard yet again on the face-off for Marys. Bernard delivering on that face-off there as Braswell comes up with it. Braswell over to Lopez. McGovern slowing it down just a little bit. Notices that his team might be playing with a bit more speed than they need to at this point. Once again, we have 1:40 remaining here in the first quarter. Rubinich inside. Over to Muchinski. Chinsky inside. Ooh, that shot there right off the foot of the goalie. Excellent opportunity there. Maybe a little bit of luck there for Holy Trinity, though. Muchinski backing it up. Inside. Ooh, that one just a bit wide right. He's not happy with that one. Let me tell you, it's just target practice for Carl Muchinski out there, though, right now. I'm sure he's preparing for a scoring barrage later, ladies and gentlemen. Rest assured. He had 5 goals in the last game we broadcasted. That was sometime in April. Might have been a month exactly to the day. So it should not be doubted. Carl Muchinski is a scoring machine out there.
We can see a couple of mental mistakes in the Marys offense. A couple of fumbles, a couple of loose passes. St. Mary's is going to have to clean that up because it is apparent that you cannot have too many mistakes against a team as talented as Holy Trinity.
Number 15 over to number 1. Slowing the clock down appropriately. I mean, with 24 seconds left, not much they can accomplish. Game plan is definitely going to have to change for St. Mary's, but in what way, I'm not too sure. Brennan, any ideas?
Well, right now, St. Mary's is focusing to get the stop on this last second surge by Holy Trinity. They're trying to gain momentum. There they do manage to get the stop, but they're definitely going to have to focus on being a little bit more crisp on the offense, cutting out a little bit of these mental mistakes.
As that quarter ends, we head to the second with a 2-1 advantage for Holy Trinity. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this break. Once again, I'm Anthony Alimo, joined by Brandon Marsh. Stephen Bernard winning that tip, or face-off, I should say, for St. Mary's. I'm getting my basketball lingo mixed up with the lacrosse lingo. That's not good. I guess it's appropriate for our last broadcast, however, that there be a basketball reference, ladies and gentlemen. Buczynski. As a reminder, the sides switch every quarter. Rubinich behind the goal, looking to do something inside. Finds McGovern. McGovern, wide shot, just a bit too high there.
And St. Mary's generating the shots they want, not able to execute on some pretty good looks.
McKenna almost had that one inside. Michael McKenna, of course, one of our senior leaders. Rubinich inside. He had that first goal earlier in this half. Holy Trinity pushing it now. Great defense there by McKenna. Holy Trinity blowing a bit by him now, though. Chen almost picked that one up in the front. Hayes is going to scoop this one up and take it on the fast break. Look at the speed on Hayes. No defender stopping him here. He's causing the defenders to slip out there. Buczynski picks it up. Buczynski attempting the blow-by. Essentially succeeds, feeds it to Hayes, who in turn feeds it to Rubinich. What an assist! Money ball! Ladies and gentlemen, I had to bring that call back one last time. But what an incredible play there all around on offense.
We see the beautiful shovel right between the teeth of the defense. What a feed by St. Mary's. There's some of that magical offense that we've been seeing throughout the season. We're going to see if that can continue and keep running.
Joe Rubinich, 2 goals, and the only 2 goals that St. Mary's had scored tonight. He's got to be feeling good right now. The junior coming in big for our male Gales. Bernard once again coming up big on the face-off there. Feeds it to Buczynski. Oh, fast break all the way. Oh, that one just off the post. Inside, it's a little bit of a mass of humanity. Carl Buczynski inside. Ooh, as he shot that, he came down hard on the ground there. Flags were thrown.
And the goal protection by Holy Trinity has been stifling the Mary's offense.
Buczynski off the pass from McGovern. Michael Hayes over to Tyler Frey. Rubinich feeds it to Carl Buczynski. Inside, that one lost to the hands of Holy Trinity. Got 9 minutes remaining here until halftime. Number 42 attempting to push it inside, trying to make a rush. It hasn't been on the Holy Trinity side of the field in a long time, Brandon. I don't think since this quarter started. Timeout called by Holy Trinity. Brandon, what do you think? I mean, Holy Trinity's sort of been in a drought here this quarter. not capitalizing on a lot of their opportunities. More frequently, they've been losing it, actually, to the defense, sweltering defense of St. Mary's.
But when we talk about defense, you can't say that without Dalen Cook. As you saw right there, he was attacking the offensive player, making him do what he wanted to do, absolutely mirroring his moves, make sure he had nowhere to go. And with the trap coming, Holy Trinity was forced to take that timeout. Excellent defense by St. Mary's right there. Holy Trinity is definitely trying to figure out a way to punch a hole through St. Mary's elite level defense, which has been playing at such a high level throughout the entire game. We're going to see what type of adjustments they make.
Holy Trinity, one of their first appearances toward the goal for them. Ryan Mockler saves that one. Or so it seems. Yes, he does, and he recovers it, swings it over to Braswell. Rubinich taking it out. McGovern. Rubinich possibly looking for somebody to swing it to, and he does find that man in McGovern. Rubinich.
Kyle Muchinsky. Once again, another good look for him. St. Mary's is definitely being successful on offense in terms of creating attempts. Just got to convert at this point.
McGovern outside now. McKenna on the outside. Again, speed with the big man on McKenna. Hayes. St. Mary's slowing down the play just a little bit. I don't think they're too hyperactive in trying to get another point yet. Although that point will most certainly come if the game is still tied later on. Rubinich over to Muchinsky. Brandon, what do you think the strategy is here on the slowdown?
Trying to get Carl Muchinsky going with a one-on-one. Fighting. Shots a little awry to the right there.
McGovern's all the way out there on right field. A little bit of a hezzy step there as he tries to get closer to the goal. Some spin moves. Holy Trinity, moving it in a relatively cohesive manner recently. They've been doing a good job sort of keeping the ball in their game in the past 2 minutes at least. Earlier this half, you would have seen Holy Trinity struggling to sort of handle the ball when they were in opposing territory.
Another good contest by Ryan Mockler right at the goal. Here's Dalen Cook with a strong on-ball pressure. Strong on-ball pressure. Ain't nothing easy for him.
Well, Brandon, let's elaborate on this defense. What do you think the key has been to swelter Holy Trinity, especially for guys like Caleb Braswell, Dalen Cook, even Michael McKenna out there? What do you think? What do you make of that strategy?
Honestly, I think the key for defense has been intensity and being the attacker. No matter if they're on offense, you attack that offense. You make them go where you want them to go. You control it. Right now, they're trying to gain control of the game any way they know how.
Well, I think it's definitely paid off for them on the defensive end, at least. They've been doing a relatively good job, as we see here now. Even Hayes doing a great job out there as he's against number 21 right now. That's the key matchup right there. Here's number 18 against Frey. Good screen there for Holy Trinity. Nice whip out to number 15. Inside, a little bit of a moving shot. That one can't go. Hits the dirt and bounces right back up.
Once again, consistent pressure of the ball handler by Dalen Cook. Not letting up. That defense stays strong.
Braswell, that stance. As well as Jordan Chen. Tyler Frey being a pest on the defense right now. Number 1. Oh, here's a good opportunity here, Brandon. Oh, lost because of the stumble. That was a good block there by Mockler. That one was almost sure to go down between the legs. We got 4 minutes roughly remaining here in the second.
Mockler with the quick reactions on defense. Stopping what looked like a pretty easy goal.
Hayes with speed down the midfield. Going a solid distance per hour there. Passes it over quite simply to Muchinski as the play slows down. I mean, with a couple minutes remaining before halftime, what more can you do but really put yourself up? Carl Muchinski!
And here we go. Carl Muchinski starting to get rolling.
That is how you lead, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you lead.
And Carl Muchinski started off slow, but if he's getting that shot off, Holy Trinity is in trouble the entire game. Just a unbelievably talented scorer in Carl Muchinski. Takes just the slightest opening in the defense and exploits it to its full potential.
Well, you talked about that elbow earlier. You could barely tell that injury ever happened with the way he's been playing tonight. And now the team's got a little bit of energy. St. Mary's back in the lead. Rightfully so, or at least that's how the boys feel here. Bernard once again on the tip. 3 minutes remaining here until halftime. Bernard successful on that face-off. Bernard's been doing excellent. He's one of the senior captains here tonight, Brandon, and I think the face-off definitely one of the most important parts of the game. His role definitely shouldn't be underplayed.
Now, Steven Bernhard's influence on the game is not really calculable by the way of the momentum he gives for the team by winning every single one of those face-offs. Right now, seems a timeout has been called. Holy Trinity going to have to see how they attempt to stop St. Mary's potent offense, because it seems like St. Mary's is beginning to pop off with 2 goals being scored just in this second quarter alone.
Now, Brandon, I find it interesting. This team walked out song-wise to Kanye West's Power. We don't frequently get the opportunity to talk about hip-hop on these broadcasts, but, I mean, you talk about power. What have you seen in the strength of the St. Mary's, not only physicality, but mentality as well as the game begins to wind down just a little bit?
But when we talk about power, we talk about being able to impose your will on the other person, and St. Mary has been able to be dominant, powerful on both ends of the ball. We see it through Dalen Cook and Caleb Braswell imposing their will on the offensive player, making them go where they want to go, and we see it in players like Joe Rubinich and Carl Munchinsky manipulating the defense to get those scores.
It's on nights like these I'm reminded why the St. Mary's community continues to be so great as time goes on. With the barbecue winding down just a bit here, I look down at the packed bleachers and I'm reminded just why everybody is so close. We have old teachers that used to work here, alumni, family and friends all here tonight to celebrate, well, hopefully celebrate a victory, but more than that, celebrate the sense of community that we have no doubt built over our 4 years here. Rubinich pushing it now, looking to feed it to Hayes, and he does. Hayes loses it mid-shot. Nice defense there by Holy Trinity to sort of recover it after that steal. Great spin moves there inside by number 12. Fast break. Opportunity now.
And what cannot be understated is the stick-to-itiveness of Michael Hayes, who once again turns the ball over and hustles back on defense to get the stop.
Dalen Cook, great defensive role there. Tyler Frey, well, another one of our senior leaders, scooped that one up. Hayes, massive humanity right there as the ball remains loose. Hayes stays with it even after the jump. Pushing it now. Oh! Pouncing through the defensive help. My goodness. It's like a rabbit. In a good way, of course. 1:30 remaining here until halftime. Carl slowing it down just a little bit. Flag thrown. Not sure why. Although I always get a good chuckle when a ref throws a flag. When a ref throws a flag, somewhere an angel gets his wings. Special guest joining in for this last minute of the quarter, Mr. Buckley, principal here at St. Mary's.
Thanks, Anthony Alamo. As a teacher, I just want to correct you. It's every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. But that was a nice attempt with the flag. Oh, here we go. Goal!
Yet another score for St. Mary's. Mr. Buckley, I think you should stay on the mic. You brought some luck to this team.
I think you might be right, Mr. Alamo. While I'm here for the St. Mary's community, I want to give a little shout out to Anthony Alamo, who's now been volunteering and doing this for how long?
Since sophomore year.
Since sophomore year. And Brandon Marsh, how long have you been doing this with us? And Elia William, I think, right? Oh, right? That would be the young man who calls me Mr. Boucle every time I see him. So I think Buckles, right? Well, I think we just got even there. Thank you, Elijah Williams, for all the work that you do. And Agam Preet, thanks for just being here. Maybe that's a good luck for us as well. Anyway, we got a great group of seniors all around that we're very proud of, not just the guys out on the field tonight, but certainly appreciating when we're up 4-2.
Bernard once again wins that faceoff for St. Mary's. And as the quarter winds down, really Holy Trinity trying to look for some scoring opportunity just to get it within one as they had it previously. Oh, and they do! Well, that desire fulfilled almost automatically. 20 seconds remaining. It's a 4-3 game.
We got to stay focused on our defense, it appears.
Most definitely.
Here we are at the face-off. Stephen Bernhard once again.
That was John Bandari on the faceoff, actually making one of his first appearances on the night. Great job still, but it goes to Holy Trinity Field. 8 seconds. What are they going to do? Not much. Exactly, it's a bit of a Hail Mary out there. And as the quarter ends, we go to halftime with St. Mary's having only a slight 1-point lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after halftime. I'm Anthony Alamo, joined by Brandon Marsh. Don't you touch that dial. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Once again, I'm Anthony Alamo, joined by my co-commentator, Brandon Marsh. Stephen Bernhard just won that face-off for the St. Mary's Gales as we begin this second half. It's been a story of offense, but still less defense, as most sports are, because primarily St. Mary's has focused their attention on the offensive game, playing through people like Joe Rubinich, Carl Muchinski, as well as some other seniors like the face-off we just saw there by Stephen Bernhard. But here's Muchinski. Tyler Frey over to Michael Hayes. Hayes gets that one taken away by Holy Trinity. It's like a race car out there as he zooms through traffic. Inside. Oh, out of the gates. That's a goal. Or score, I should say. As Holy Trinity ties it up 4 apiece with 11 minutes remaining.
And it was very crucial for Holy Trinity to get the momentum right there with a quick score. They're trying to set the tone for this second half of Lacrosse.
Brandon, what do you think has changed fundamentally in the St. Mary's game plan as time winds down here? We're in the second half already.
A little bit more sloppy play. You see a little bit of a higher amount of turnovers.
Well, this was definitely not the plan. But we'll see how St. Mary's can turn that around here as they head to their goal. Hayes on the fast break. Here it goes. Oh, wrapped up almost immediately. Sandwiched at the far end. Oh, my goodness. Automatic flag thrown on that one. He's still moving. My goodness. That is what we call a bulldozer, ladies and gentlemen. You could scratch it as much as you want. It's not going down. Hayes can't be enjoying that contact, but he's taking it rather well. And that attitude is transitioning beautifully on the lacrosse field as he continues to hustle, despite being a little demoralized here with that goal from Holy Trinity.
Now, Hayes is a multi-talented athlete, and no matter what he plays, whether it's baseball, basketball, or what you see here in lacrosse, it's energy. Like Mr. Ryan said about Patrick Hayes, he's like an Energizer bunny. No matter how many times he gets hit, he keeps getting up.
Rubinich behind the goal over to McGovern. McGovern feed to Muchinski. Muchinski inside. That one no good. Gets his own board. Oh, not quite, actually. As Holy Trinity begins to push it down the other end. What a fast break. Number 48 all the way. No good on that one. Number 15 for Holy Trinity now. Ooh, nice hezzy. As time digresses. My goodness. So many flags thrown here recently, Brandon. I'm not sure what to make of all this intense hustle play, but I suppose it has something to do with the emotions, at least on our side. Holy Trinity's still moving with it, though. Bringing a double-man defense against them.
You can see specific play call for Holy Trinity. They get the ISO 101 and they get the score. Great move right there. And Holy Trinity is out to a quick 2-0 run, completely shifting the tides of the game in the second half. My apologies.
Bernhard again. Man, let me tell you, Steven Bernhard, some stories here tonight, but perhaps none other than our own face-off man coming up big for this team here, as well as providing for quick offensive moves.
Caleb.
Braswell over to Muchinski. Muchinski inside. Ooh, that one just off the foot of the goalie Trinity post. Ooh, hard hit there. Vaquero fell to the ground on that one, but again, jumped right back up.
I think that speaks to the resiliency of this Mary's team. Coach Matthew Panetta makes sure that his players are in the best shape to go out there and get some victories.
Somebody down for St. Mary's. Definitely a hard hit on that one. That was Rubinich on the ground there for St. Mary's, but it looks like he's getting up rather quickly. Brandon, well, we got some dead air. Why don't we talk about the community aspect of this night for all of us in general? I mean, we're both active seniors in this community now. What do you got to say about the past 4 years as a general reflection?
These past 4 years have been my opportunity to grow as a person, and I think that there was no better place to do it than at St. Mary's. Learned so many things from the faculty, my peers, learned so many things about myself and about so many others. Wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, man.
And on a beautiful night like this, it's fitting that we see such a good game. The atmosphere is, the aesthetic, I should say, is quite phenomenal here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I must thank you for tuning in with us, if indeed you are. St. Mary's is playing behind the goal a little bit here. Hesitant offense. They're down by 1 with about 7 remaining in the third. McKenna over to McGovern. Back to McKenna. Lost it just a little bit in the backfield. Brandon, you mentioned earlier a little bit of a sloppy transition for St. Mary's here into the second half. I'm not personally liking what I'm seeing as a fan, but what do you think's going on here?
Well, it's been a lot of sloppy play by the hands of St. Mary's. A lot of foolish turnovers, a lot of errant passes that you can see that the Holy Trinity defense is not scared at all to take advantage of, and they've got to clean that up. As I've said before, and I'll reiterate it again, Holy Trinity will capitalize on your mistakes.
Play resumes here now as Holy Trinity attempting to extend this lead just a bit. Some good defense here, though, by Mary's on the adverse side. Oh, great movement inside by number 1. That ball is out of the park. Home run derby. Another great shot inside there for Holy Trinity, but that one yet again blocked by a great goalie, Ryan Mockler. Tonight he's been doing a rather stellar job. Can't really blame him for the rut that they're in right now. Braswell starting this possession off. Gets by his man, loses the ball, and recovers. Looking for the pass. Whips it over to Lopez. Ends up into the stick of McGovern. McGovern getting pushed from behind. McGovern slows it down just a little bit. Keeps the ball in his possession. Whips it over to Muchinski. Muchinski. Ooh, I thought that one might have went down, ladies and gentlemen. That ball is out of there. That was a fantastic opportunity, though. If only they could capitalize on those, they'd be in a fantastic shape here. I'd like to thank, while we have some free time, of course, co-commentator Brandon Marsh, but also all of the other crew we have up here in the physics lab, Phil Sutherland, as well as Agampreet Singh and Elijah Williams on camera. Rubinich trying to put the spin moves on his man, number 48. 48 had a couple of great plays in that first half. Some of their points, in fact, I believe, have come from number 48, and so he's definitely got to be one of the more celebrated players out there for Holy Trinity.
Well, we can see that Holy Trinity's defense seems to be suffocating the offense of St. Mary's. They haven't been able to get into their sets as comfortably as they would like. And that's just props to the beautiful lane perception of Holy Trinity, as well as their physicality.
Now, Brandon, something I'm noticing in this game, especially in comparison to that last game we watched earlier at 5:30, both teams definitely playing at the walls of the field, I should say. Definitely not staying in the inside, or at least the ball isn't in the inside of the field quite a lot. Both teams really pushing each other to their limits, respectively, and I think both teams are being improved by this game as a result. Number 15, though, for Holy Trinity. Ooh, lines up the shot almost perfectly, but Ryan Mockler saves that with his net. Braswell tried to whip it over to Lopez. Instead, it ends up in the hands of number 12 for Holy Trinity. Good fast break opportunity here for Holy Trinity. Doesn't exactly pay off there. As now there's a stumble for the ball. Ooh, that's a goal, ladies and gentlemen, for Holy Trinity. Puts them up by 2. Brandon, what do you attribute that to?
Well, as you can see, the efficiency of these two offenses, you can see a disparity now. St. Mary's offense has not been as clean as it was before. A lot of errant passes thrown over long distances, a lot of loose balls. And on the other hand, on Holy Trinity, crisp passes, get exactly where they need to go, and leave them with great opportunities to score, which is how they've overtaken the lead so far in this second half.
Really could not ask for a better night as it dwells down. Stephen Bernhard here. Once again winning the face-off. Throws it to nobody in particular.
And St. Mary's is kind of falling into a hole with these errant passes leading to turnovers. Cannot capitalize on their offense. Struggling to even get into their offense.
Cheering coming from both teams' benches now as that play transpired. Emotions, as we mentioned earlier, definitely running high, but so is the tension. And as Holy Trinity pulls away with that lead, I fear, as a fan, but I'm curious as a commentator to see whether or not St. Mary's becomes rather lethargic with this gap in mind.
A lot of ball movement, trying to get the defense of St. Mary's shifted out of shape by reversing and resetting it. A lot of patience, surgical precision right now by Holy Trinity.
Lopez with speed to try to get that ball knocked away by number 1 on Holy Trinity. Lopez gets that one. Noel Lopez. Oh, losing it to the long stick of 48 over there to number 18. Loses it out of bounds. Here's Hayes now. Really freelancing it now. Trying to put another score on their side of the scoreboard. Muchinski. Slowing it down just a little bit. Taking a breather, studying the field, and analyzing his options. 2 minutes remaining here in the third. Muchinski on the outside, trying to get by his man. Goes under. Ooh, thrown down to the ground there as another flag is thrown.
And you see a little bit of chippiness in the players of Holy Trinity. Definitely playing like they have something to prove against St. Mary's. Playing with a lot of edge.
Brendan, what do you think Holy Trinity has to do to solidify their spot in the lead now?
Keep doing what they're doing right now. Take advantage of St. Mary's mistakes. Be as crisp on offense as you have been in this half, and you can extend this lead. However, I expect for St. Mary's to get their groove together.
Rubinich over to McKenna. Hayes. McGovern. Back to Rubinich. Feeds it inside, or at least attempts for Tyler Frey. Carl a bit high over the goal on that one. And roughly about 1 minute remaining here in the third. Score 6-4. Trinity advantage. Hayes losing it to number 15 there, but recovers. And attempts to make the most out of the 50 seconds that he has left. Hayes over to Rubinich. A bit high for Rubinich on that one. Play slowing down just a little bit here as time winds down in this third quarter. 48, though, on the other hand, trying real hard to do something. That was a nice shot on goal there, but again, it's just a bit wide. Holy Trinity maybe trying to do a little bit too much here as time expires, at least in this quarter.
Holy Trinity trying to go for, in effect, a sort of killing blow. All the momentum is in their favor, and they're trying to extend on that to something that St. Mary's can't come back from. St. Mary's has to stay strong.
Oh, hard. 21 on Holy Trinity knocked him from the back. Hayes over to Muchinski. Hail Mary. Come with me, run quick C. No good on that one. As we head to the fourth quarter, still with a Holy Trinity advantage by 2 points. We'll be right back after this break. turn it on. Flip it up if you want to turn it on. Fourth quarter begins here now, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are coming out of this quarter with a 6-4 lead for Holy Trinity. Once again, the sides have switched. Maybe that'll work out in St. Mary's favor, as we see St. Mary's trying to play with a bit more intensity than they had in that third quarter. Holy Trinity taking it to the other side, though, as 48 runs it. Mockler, great block on that one there. Number 15 now for Holy Trinity inside. Ooh, little backhanded throw there. Or pass, at least. Number 1 for Holy Trinity. Slowing down the play just a little bit. They have no necessity to rush anything, ladies and gentlemen. As time winds down, it only works in their favor. Good offensive feed there, but it's just out of the stick of number 42. Could not get to it in too much time. A flag is thrown, but play continues as McGovern is working it in the backfield. I'm joined now by another co-commentator here tonight, Bianca Briere. Bianca, if you're St. Mary's, what do you think the offense deficit on your hands?
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I were on the boys lacrosse team, I would focus on cutting through the Holy Trinity defense more, making open cuts, because what I've seen from the last quarter, everyone stayed outside on the perimeter around the defense, and maybe 1 or 2 people would cut, but it wasn't successful enough to make a goal. And you might end up being tackled by like 4 players. So, and
Carl
very
Muczynski.
nice goal.
Carl Muczynski once again with a goal on that one, brings his team within 1. Score is 6-5. They definitely needed that energy from their captain here, and he's providing. That's his first in the second half. Stephen Bernhard wins the tip there for St. Mary's. Stephen diving for that ball there. Bernhard doesn't pull up with it. Somewhat of a loose ball foul there as St. Mary's will retain possession. Muchinski once again pushing it. After that score, he's got to be feeling good. Another one? Oh, not quite. At least not that time. Frey. Over to Rubinic. Rubinic inside. Another shot on goal. That one no good. St. Mary's definitely playing a bit more impulsive here after that Muchinski goal earlier this quarter. McKenna inside, looking for a post spin move. Gives it over to Rubinic. They're playing in that X area fairly well as of late. Hayes. Overarching shot goes down. Michael Hayes ties it up at 6. Oh, the ball is in their field, ladies and gentlemen. We got approximately 8:30 remaining here in the fourth and final quarter. And you got to be curious what either team will be willing to cook up in order to secure a victory. I find this rather appropriate, friends. Number 1 for Holy Trinity pushing it now. Wide open opportunity. Nice feed to number 42, but it's just out of his stick. Dalen Cook attempts to scoop that one up, but it goes just a little too far for him. Holy Trinity slowing it down just a little bit on their offensive end. 21. Over to number 1. Trying to find the open feed down low. I had mentioned this to Brandon Marsh earlier. Time management was going to be a huge factor for either team in this game, and I'm curious to see how it plays out here. We have roughly 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth. But since both teams are tied, I'm wondering what will possibly happen to shift the score in either team's direction. Muchinski running with it now. Muchinski trying to put the spin moves on him. Double teamed outside. Muchinski, as Brandon Marsh said earlier, recovering from that elbow injury recently, fairly recently enough, where it still might have affected his play here, but you wouldn't have assumed it correct because of his multi. Muchinski in the midfield. Frey picks it up. Timeout, St. Mary's with exactly 6 minutes remaining. Score is tied at 6. Well, Bianca, we talk a lot here tonight about the offensive captain for the seniors and then the team more broadly, Carl Muchinski. But I don't think that should discredit anything that we've seen from the defense. Great guys like Dalen Cook, as well as Caleb Braswell, the defensive captain. Even Tyler Frey out there. What do you got to say about some of those guys?
Both Dalen and Caleb in class, they're both the most energetic people I know. Even on their worst days, they have all the energy that you could imagine. And I think it complements very well in their part on this lacrosse team because they're always working hard and they're making plays, defending the goal really well. As for Tyler Frey, I think he has really so much heart. He told me that he's a lacrosse player this year because he wanted to do something with his time. And I know off the field he's a boxer. So I, too, believe that complements his part on the team because it's an aggressive sport, as boxing is.
Michael McKenna playing some great defense out there for St. Mary's right now, checking his stick at every angle. Ooh, a little bit of a miscommunication there on Holy Trinity's part, but it ends up in their stick possession anyway. Number 18 with speed. Oh, way off goal there. He was aiming at the back. Inside again, number 42. Mockler stopping that ball farther. Rubinich. McGovern running with it now, taking it way out to the sides of the field. Muchinski, the move inside gives them the lead. Muchinski inside gives them the 1 point lead. 7-6. 4:30 remaining. Oh, how fitting is it, ladies and gentlemen, that the senior captain, Carl Muchinski, would hit that goal. Unbelievable play on really the most beautiful of evenings we've had in May thus far. Holy Trinity will call another timeout here. Potentially talking over the game plan. Bernhard once again winning that face-off for St. Mary's. If they could just hold on to this possession a bit longer, they'll be in good shape. Nunziato. Another timeout call for St. Mary's. McGovern out there right now. Scoop pass. Nice. Over to Rubinich. Muchinski slowing it down. Probably the right move on his part there. Don't want to do anything too fancy or too stupid this late in the game. Rubinich got that ball, and those couple of flags are thrown yet again, a testament to the emotion and tension running high here, especially in this quarter. Gales, of course, are coached by Matt Panetta. And Carl's stick knocked out of his hands there as well as the ball. Mike Hayes picked it up, but the flags were thrown even earlier than that, and so something will be analyzed. Hayes on the outside. McKenna. McGovern back to Hayes. Lost the ball ever so slightly, and so Holy Trinity will attempt to capitalize on it. They have an opportunity to tie it up here. Dalen Cook on the defense. Nice sweltering there, trying to check his stick. Number one inside. Ball's knocked loose. Michael Hayes will scoop that one up. Oh, maybe not. It's in St. Mary's possession. Pass out to McGovern. We have 2 minutes remaining here in the final quarter. St. Mary's, as we mentioned earlier, has to be willing to wait for clock to be at optimal position. Preferably wasting the entire clock. Carl pushing it. Rubinich. McGovern. Back to Rubinich on the outside. Inside to Frey. Frey didn't catch that one. And so Holy Trinity will attempt to take it down the other way. Number 15 pushing it now. Number 15 trying to put the moves on him. Frey, great defense there from Mary's. Whistle's blown. And another timeout called for Holy Trinity. Final 1 minute 30 seconds of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Holy Trinity looking to find something to do. Number 48 on Holy Trinity. Nobody's stopping him right now. Ooh, that one. That was a fantastic opportunity. Just couldn't capitalize on it. As St. Mary's was able to get away lucky with that one. We're down to the final. And as time digresses, crowd's getting ready to celebrate or prepare themselves for overtime. Hayes, again with speed, retaining that ball, losing it. My goodness, look at the speed on number 21. Caleb Braswell couldn't get that one. It's in the stick of number 18. Number 18 inside. Ooh, that one was in the goal. Does it count, though? Oh, no, it does not, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Holy Trinity's upset about that one. Controversial call there. I'm not sure about that call, ladies and gentlemen, but it worked out in St. Mary's favor, so who could really be upset here except for Holy Trinity? There was a call. There was a call. Number 1 pushing it now. Again, looking for that same energy to do something. Inside. Oh, and that'll do it. That final save will do it. With 1 second remaining. Just about does it. Look at the celebration. What a wonderful feeling they must be having right now. We can't blame them. Bodies flying, equipment flying. Hopes flying, spirits flying, and dreams flying. Ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful lacrosse game. Came down to the final block. You even got a chant coming. Cowbells ringing, balloons flying, community cheering. As they close this game out, as I mentioned earlier, well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody who's helped tonight, in particular. Brandon Marsh, my co-commentator, Bianca Briere as well, this final quarter. Agampreet Singh and Elijah Williams on camera. Phil Sutherland, Sven Eisman on the tech, as well as all of the friends and family who have helped support throughout this night. Well, I wish I could say truthfully that I will see you all in the fall. But unfortunately for me, that is not the case. Yes, that time has come for me to say goodbye to this beloved program of ours. However, in this situation, I'm hesitant to use the phrase, all good things must come to an end, because I do not believe this to be the terminating point of broadcasting for St. Mary's. Rather, it is the close of another chapter in the story. It didn't begin with me, and one that I hope won't end with me. Objectively, this program has the potential to improve public speech and confidence of that speech better than any other club available to a student body. And I hope that the next time I see a St. Mary's sporting event, it is on a live stream just like this one. Because to see this program rest at all these next couple of years would be much akin to a loss in this community. A community that we have built around the idea of perseverance for opportunity, the availability of which is ever increasing. I know not what the future holds for this program, whether it will rest, continue strongly, or stop altogether. It is not my place to predict. I can, however, say confidently that there are some fine people willing to uphold this newly established tradition of commentating. Whether it be people that have been here from the beginning, Sven Eisman, or Mr. I as I know him, and Phil Sutherland, or the generations to come that I hope in some way I have not yet inspired. I am almost positive that they will continue to keep the effort of commentating strong within the upcoming years. As for myself, well, there's much to be said that cannot possibly be displayed in these videos. If I can be remembered as anything in this school community after I graduate, then I would wish it to be as the kid who made the most out of what he was given. Although admittedly, I hope this is not the last time such a broad audience hears my voice. That being said, this achievement could not have worked without the constant help I have received from the aforementioned moderators and frequent color commentators, who are willing to give up time and labor to create something of value. I also hope, in perhaps a strange way, that my recently acquired title of, quote, the voice of St. Mary's, is taken by some other orator within the next set of years. I say that out of the combination of two emotions, the confidence that the school will continue to enroll such speakers, and my desire to personally be known as the voice of much more than just my secondary school. The latter of these feelings I say not with the intent of condescension, but with pride that in a country as competitive yet beautifully as ours, I have been able to elevate my speech pattern to a point of potential group representation. I feel I speak for all of my fellow student commentators when I say that our global conversation has no choice to continue, with us potentially at its head. However, on the off chance that the future voice of St. Mary's I alluded to earlier is actually listening presently, then let it be known, dear orator, that opportunity will be created by more than your voice. It will be created by your hard work, your willingness to learn, your desire for success, and your dedication to prevent failure from being the end. In about a month, the student body here will no longer be my responsibility to speak for, and that honor might very well fall upon your shoulders. This is a necessity, because within every student you represent, there is something visible to you that is not seen by teachers, administrators, priests, or perhaps even God. That characteristic is potential, which unfortunately often goes undetected by those that have achieved higher. As one of their comrades, you have the gift of seeing that potential for greatness naturally, which only emphasizes the importance of empathy in this new communication-based world we are building. I find it rather appropriate, friends, that we broadcast this last game of ours from inside a physics lab, because it is representative of something I asserted in a speech to the junior class at the start of the academic year. There is a law in physics which states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and I believe the same to be true of passion. Whether you know it or not, it has been within you for your entire life, but all it takes is one event to procure it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I gracefully take my exit as head broadcaster of this program, guided by the light of hope in the future with the confidence that greater things await us ahead. For everyone that has helped make this project more beautiful than it already intrinsically was, especially Mr. Ilnitsky and Mr. Sutherland, I am Anthony Charles Alaimo, and it has been a pleasure to present this work to you for these past 3 years. Thank you, and good night.